Good morning and welcome to this day. This is Success Alignment Radio on Prime TV with Dr. A. Well, in the first episode, I gave you a congruence story, or what I call the alignment story, that gives you a gist and an understanding of what alignment is. I told you of a story, how I bought a Mercedes-Benz, a powerful piece of machine, and the owners of the garage asked me to do a wheel alignment on that vehicle, but I refused to do so because I was in a hurry to go home. But more importantly, I was ignorant of the world of alignment. So I got this vehicle and I started driving it, and every time I wanted to get to 100 and 120, the vehicle was shaking and the vehicle was controlling me rather than me controlling the vehicle. So the driving was cumbersome. It was not a beautiful experience. I got home to Pretoria and then I called the garage and I said, "Hey, what is this thing that you have sold me? I thought a Mercedes-Benz would do me good. It would be fast, it would be comfortable, it would be safe. But my experience is everything different from what I've heard about the E-Class or the S-Class." And they say to me, "Look, hey, Dr. A, you refused to do an alignment on that vehicle. And because the wheels are out of alignment, the vehicle is controlling you rather than you controlling it." You know, every one of us are driving somewhere. We're driving to a place called our goals, our SMART goals. Now, if you remember the acronym of SMART, having goals that are specific, goals that are measurable, goals that are attainable, goals that are realistic, and goals that are time bound. It's not good for you to wake up in the morning and just do life. You've got to wake up every morning like you've woken up this morning with a specific goal. It could be a financial goal, it could be a family goal, it could be a career goal, it could be an educational goal, it could be a health goal, it could be a fitness goal, it could be a business goal, but you must learn to set up your goal. And you remember very well that for you to be successful, you must not just set your goals, you must have SMART goals. And I did say SMART stands for specific. Your goal must be very specific. It must be measurable. It must be attainable. It must be realistic. And it must be time bound. And so every morning you get into that vehicle driving to your destination, and your destination are your goals. But if your vehicle is out of alignment, you will take 10 hours rather than taking 2 hours to reach your goals. It will leave you frustrated. And so, as I was driving that car, I realized that in as much as the Mercedes-Benz has the potential and the power and the capacity to move at a very high speed and still give you safety, if it is out of alignment, it'll be cumbersome. You won't hit your goals. And so immediately a thought dawned on me, and this is where Congruence Coaching was birthed, that every one of us are driving somewhere, and we need the wheels of our success, or the wheels of our life, or the wheels of our mission to be in alignment with a vision. Now, this is how you do this. You must, like I said in the last episode, you must establish your vision. And after establishing your vision, you got to establish your goals. And then you've got to understand your mission. And your mission is what I call your vocation. So you have your vision, and then you establish your vocation. You know exactly what you want to do, what's your assignment, what's your purpose. And after you've established your vocation, now you need the vehicle that drives you to the vision. Now you have the vision, something that is in the future, and that vision means three things. It means be, do, and have. Be your identity. What do you want to become? Do you want to become a transformational leader? Do you want to become a transactional leader, a transitional leader, a charismatic leader? Do you want to become an entertainer? Do you want to become a great philosopher? Do you want to become a theologian, a gynecologist, a dentist? Whatever vision of what you want to become, whatever vision of what you want to do. Doing is behavior. What behavior do you want to become? And then whatever you want to have, your assets. And so once you've established that vision, here's the next thing. Establish your mission. Your mission, which is your vocation, are the things that you do daily to get to where you want to be. And now you've established your vision, you've established your vocation, which is your mission. The third thing to establish is the vehicle that takes you to the vision, the vehicle you operate or you use to get your vision. It could be an individual vehicle, which we call the sole proprietor, or it could be a corporation. You're using the business to get there, that vehicle. And then you want to establish the velocity, the speed at which you want to get to your goals. Do you want to get there in 10 years' time, or you want to get there in 10 months' time? So you've got your vision, and then you have your vocation, and then you have your vehicle, and then you have your velocity, the speed at which you drive. And I said to you, when you have these 4 V's, you unlock value. Remember, you are paid, recognized, honored, awarded for bringing or becoming value in the marketplace. Now, so today I want to begin to talk on the 8 wheels of your vehicle that needs to come into alignment with your mission or vocation for you to drive your mission with stability, with speed, with safety, with agility, with confidence, with assurance. So I'm going to take the next 8 episodes to discuss these 8 wheels one by one, give you some synopsis on how you can have these 8 wheels aligned to your mission so that you are balanced and you can move at the speed of an eagle to where you want to become. And so today we begin with wheel number 1. So what's the first wheel that must be aligned to your vision and to your mission or your vocation? Here's what it's called. It's called the wheel of environment. The wheel of environment. The wheel of environment. I want you to think of your environment as you are watching me right now. And when I talk about environment, I talk about your social environment, your home environment, your spiritual environment, your political environment, your mental environment, your emotional environment. I want you to think of all these different types of environments I have mentioned, and I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you operating and living in an environment that acts or serves as a vantage ground or a springboard to propel you to manifesting your goals and hitting your goals and reaching your vision? Is your environment good for your mission, for your vision? Think about your environment, and I'm going to give you some examples for this to make sense. So here's an example. For 17 years, I lived in South Africa and I missed carpenter. You know, the whole South Africa is such a huge country. They don't have the health carpenters we have in Zambia. And I used to wonder why they don't have carpenters. Then I realized that South Africa doesn't have the environment for the carpenters. So the carpenters refuse to go there because they know they will not survive in that environment. There's no conducive environment for the carpenters. In Zambia, we wish we can see some sharks and, go and watch sharks. But Zambia doesn't have sharks. You know why? Because we don't have an environment for the sharks. Sharks love, the oceans, the seas. They live in the big waters, big oceans, while the carpenters are in the rivers. Now, are you a carpenter or are you a shark? Answer the question. This will help you redefine your environment, find your best environments. Well, right here in Zambia, you want an abundance of pineapples? You've got to get yourself a field right in Northwestern Province. You get yourself a field in Northwestern Province, the pineapples will begin just to grow like that. But if you want a field in the Soliland right here in Chongwe, well, you'll be thinking you're under a case or some things are against you. The pineapples won't do very well in that area because it's not an environment for the pineapples. So an environment must align to your mission and vision. Am I saying environments are bad? No. Every environment is good. But the question is your environment in congruence with your mission and your vision? Is there an alignment between your mission, the things you do every day, your vision, the place you're going to, the goals, the things you want to achieve this morning? Is there an alignment? Is there congruence between your mission, your vision, your goals, and your environment? I'll tell you something about environments. Environments determines who sees you, and who sees you determines your next level. Environment determines what you see, and what you see determines your behavior and your creativity. Environment determines what you really see. Now, you could be watching this morning and probably you are 35, 37 years old, and maybe in your entire life you've never seen a Lamborghini or you've never seen a Bentley. Does it mean in the world there are no Lamborghinis? Plenty of them. But if you are always in an environment where the Lamborghinis are not, boy, you never go and see one. Now, what is it you're looking for this morning as you woke up today? What's on your mind? What do you want to see? What do you want to have? What do you want to get? What sort of relationships do you want to achieve? Here's the first question. Can you find an environment where these things are possible? Certain environments will impede on your creativity. Certain working environments, certain playing environments will not help you manifest your potential. And so you must ask yourself this question. Do I have a good environment? Those that love soccer, Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo have been world players of the year many times. And I've always asked myself this question. Why haven't we produced a world player of the year or a coach of the year, world coach of the year from Zambia, Lila Wanderers, Kana Red Devils, Cabo Warriors? Does it mean we don't have talents? We do have great talents, but we do not have the environments that can produce such kind of talent. We don't have environments that provoke such potentials and such talents. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's possible once we create those environments. So right now, I want you to look at your social environments. Your social environments include your friends, your colleagues. Do you think that social environment is empowering you to hit your goals? Or do you think those environments are depressing you? Are they always talking of things that just makes you feel frustrated and lose hope and accept the norm as the way of life? Or do you have such a social environment? Excuse me. Do you have such a social environment that empowers you, that inspires you? Now, if your friends and your colleagues don't inspire you, definitely they will inspire you one day. Here's wisdom. You must make a choice of the environments you must find yourself in. You must make that choice. Now, here are the three things you do to the environment. So, number one, if you realize that the environment you are in is not suitable, is not in alignment, is not in congruence with your goals or your mission or your vision, here's what you do. You have one of the three options. Either option number one, change the environment. I'm not saying exit the environment, I'm saying change. Go into that environment, change the settings. For example, if you moved into a hotel room and you found that it's very cold there, the aircon is very low, probably on 16, and you're shaking. Do you just remain there and complain, oh, it's too cold here, well, what do I do? Or do you change the settings? You've got to get that remote, take it to the Zambian weather, 25 degrees Celsius, and you feel warm and you feel good. But if you just remain in that environment, well, you're gonna freeze to death. You've got to change the environment. So here's a question that you need to ask yourself. Do you have a position and the capacity to change things in that environment? If the environment is not speaking into your visions, can you change the environment? Can you move in that environment to change it? Now, before you answer that questions, there are two factors that determines whether you've got the capacity or the power to change the environment. Factor number one, are you in the circle of influence or are you in the circle of non-influence? Now, if you don't have a position of influence in that environment, forget about changing the environment. No one is going to listen to you. So it's not possible. But if you are in a position of influence, you can change the settings in that house, in that office, in that corporation, and create a favorable environment for your vision and for your goals. Option number two, if you cannot change the environment, option number two is to completely exit the environment. Change things. Go out. And sometimes you don't need to geographically move. You can socially move. I'll give you an example. You know, at one time, the reading culture in Zambia was not quite very good. And me being an author, I realized that if I put my books in the Zambian bookstores, they'll not sell because people here would rather, at that time, I don't know now, but would rather buy a lot of groceries, go to some restaurants, leave the money than invest in personal development. They'll not buy a book. So what did I do with such kind of environment? I just migrated from the physical environment to the online environment, to the internet environment. So I started stocking my books on Amazon, you know, on eBay. I started putting my books on internet, on my website, so that I can attract a wider environment. I did not physically move out of Lusaka. I just moved to another environment, still remaining in the physical environment. I moved on the online environment, internet environment. So you can either physically move or you can mentally move or emotionally move. So you've got to ask yourself a question. Is the physical environment you are in helping you? If it is not, if you can't change it, exit. Move out completely. Go out. Otherwise, you'll be here 10 years from now and nothing has really changed. The third option is to tweak some things in the environment. You may not physically move, but you can make some small changes that can bring significant changes in that environment. Tweak it. But I want to focus, before I conclude this morning, on two environments that are very important. Number one, your emotional environment. Your energy this morning, as you begin the day, your energy is your greatest asset. You know that a lot of people are angry this morning, and you see how they drive on the roads. Some things are not going well in their homes. They're not going well in their marriages, in their relationships. And so they're angry. They're angry at everything. They're angry at everyone. And so they're going to point fingers, you know, slight mistakes. They're going to scream at you and shout at you. You must not be influenced by your outside environment, but learn to master the outside environment by getting in charge of your inside environment, your emotional environment. Have you ever seen those people who are seated by themselves in the bedroom? Everyone is gone out and they're making themselves cry. You are alone and you're just making yourself cry. You sad, you frustrated, you angry. Who's doing this? Yourself. That's your emotional environment. Sometimes there is a lot of garbage in our emotional environment that must go out. And sometimes you go for work and you greet some people, they cannot even just answer back to the greeting because their emotional environment is messed up. This morning, You want to become an effective person, a prolific performer. Remember what I said, from the bedroom to the boardroom, you are fired for non-performance. And for you to be able to perform at your peak, you need the best emotional environment. So this morning, I want to encourage you and inspire you to take control of your emotional environment. Don't allow the outside to disturb you. You know, some people are funny. They will come and do some funny things, and they go out happy and smiling, and you remain all by yourself crying. They've gone far away. They're enjoying their lives. They're laughing, and they said something to you or did something to you that has left you sad and frustrated the whole day. Is it worth your life? It will impede and negate your power to perform, like the Mercedes-Benz. So number one, this morning, I want you to look after your emotional environment. The second environment I want you to really look after is your mental environment. Mental environment means what's going on in your mind, the way you perceive things, the way you make decisions. And I want to encourage you this morning to hear something of value or read something of value. If you've got a mentor, take a minute, give them a call and ask them to tell you something of value, or get a book online and read something of value. Make sure your mental environment is excited and ready to give value. Now remember this, that no one is more excited and more interested in your success but yourself. And success, which is a progression towards the actualization of your goals. Success, that's the definition of success. It's a progression, it's a movement towards the actualization of your goals. For it to happen, these two environments are very important. Your emotional environment and your mental environment, which I call your environment. You must be in charge of that. You may not be able to control what happens outside you, but you must be able to control what is happening inside you. And so you have a vision, you have a goal, you have a mission. And this morning, as you start your day, here's a question. What is the best suitable environment, social environment, spiritual environment, mental environment, emotional environment for you to be like that Mercedes-Benz, to drive very, very fast? I'll give you a last example as I conclude. Every morning, I create the most beautiful emotional environment by having a chat with my children. Oh, they just adore me. They look at me. They believe I'm the best dad in the world. Things they tell to me, they just inspire and charge me. But also, I hit the gym every morning just to wake up my emotions and wake up my mind and tell myself, I was born to win. You were born to win. And so this morning, I wish you success as you move towards this day. All things are possible to him that is in alignment. God bless. Enjoy the day. Okay, so is this...